Some days on the VGC ladder, you encounter the wildest teams, and this was a team that I fought against. And let me just say, I was absolutely shocked and had to showcase this team with my recreations of it. Let's see how well that Mega Golurk alongside Telepathy Medicham can perform. So this is my replica of a team that absolutely destroyed me, and let me just say, I saw very little details about the team. I noticed 6. I know that the Metagross had Explosion. I know the Medicham had Telepathy with Trick Room. And I know the Golurk had Earthquake. And the Medicham also had Feint because it went for Feint and Earthquake. But yeah, that's all I had to work with when I had the 6 and was trying to recreate it. So let's go over the team. So the idea here with the team is to get Trick Room up and try to sweep with the Golurk as well as Basculegion. That's the main concept of this team here. And I had a suspicion that there were a few things that when I saw this in team preview, there were many tricks that you had to fear, especially with the lead, because they led Medicham and Metagross. And there are a lot of things that you can encounter and think about this in close team sheet. One is the Medicham could have Choice Scarf with Pure Power, which of course doubles its attack stat, where you could go for like skill swap. So it could have been like Choice Scarf skill swap in the Metagross. It could have been like fake out coaching support with the Medicham. There were a lot of options I was considering when I saw this lead, and I wasn't 100% sure of what to really expect here. So I went for a double up in the Medicham with priority moves, thinking it was a Choice Scarf. It survived because it was actually really bulky. Then the Metagross went for Explosion, and then the Medicham set up Trick Room. So this is what I had to work with the recreation. So I think the Metagross had to be Choice Scarf, and I just never saw it because I went for a double priority moves into the Medicham instead. So yeah, the fact that I believe it has to be Choice Scarf because I think the strategy does fall to basically Charizard Y if you don't have the option to go for like a Choice Scarf Stone Edge is pretty important, because I think deleting Charizard on a lead is pretty impactful in this matchup. So I think having Stone Edge is probably the right call, and in order to outspeed, you need that Choice Scarf. So my suspicion was it's probably Choice Scarf Metagross with Stone Edge and Explosion, running Iron Head for the fairies, and Ice Punch to be able to delete a Garchomp potentially, which is nice. The Medicham here had Telepathy, and that's so you can go for Earthquake with your Golurk safely, as well, of course, the Explosion, which it will be able to dodge. So you have the Close Combat, Feint, Quick Guard, and Trick Room. I only really saw Feint and Trick Room. I don't know the rest. I assume you have the Fighting type move, so you are able to break through King Gambit. And then I was wondering what the last move could have been. I thought about like Coaching. I thought about like a few other moves like Detect. But I think Quick Guard makes a lot of sense because Golurk is very weak to priority moves, especially like Aqua Jet from Basculegion and Sucker Punch from the King Gambits. So I think Quick Guard can be very helpful for preparing against that specific matchup where just a bunch of priority moves could screw over Golurk. And since you don't have any priority blockers, I think it's very, very hard if Golurk takes any damage. So the idea of Quick Guard felt it made a lot of sense on this team. Next, we have the Golurk, and the Golurk is a Mega Golurk, which does have access to, I think, just strong coverage in general. I think you do want the Earthquake, of course, for the spread move. You want the Poltergeist, I think, as the Ghost cover should be able to hit Basculegion and more. Stone Edge here is because under Trick Room, you want to make sure you can KO Charizard, because I think Charizard Y Heat Wave just does way too much damage to this team. So I think you need to be able to threaten it both in and out of Trick Room. And then gonna go with Headlong Rush. Actually, no Protect on the Golurk, but should be generally fine, as I believe the idea is to get Trick Room up with Medicham and then send in the Golurk once it is free and then able to wreak havoc. So that's my idea here, that it doesn't need Protect. It's just trying to clean up in those turns of Trick Room and sweep the opponent. Then Life Orb Basculegion. I think Life Orb Basculegion is so strong, you should probably bring it. I don't know if the Medicham was actually Focus Sash. It might have actually just been full invested to bulk because of how well it was able to take the attacks. But I thought if I had Focus Sash on the Medicham just to make sure I survive any attack, I'm going to go with Life Orb on Basculegion because the power of that Last Respect with that Life Orb is just so ridiculous. So that's the idea behind the Basculegion with the Life Orb. Just really powerful with that Last Respect especially. And then the final two, I think it's just a bluff because you're expecting a potential Tailwind mode because you have a decent amount of fast Pokemon, Whimsicott, Floette. The potential Mega Metagross can be fast. Basket Legions tends to run on Tailwind teams, so I think it makes a lot of sense. But I think it's more of a bluff here. I am going with just a standard 3 attacks Flood because I think it's just like, okay, just try to blow up the opponent if you do need to. But I do think that you generally don't bring these Pokemon as much. But Flood could be brought, I suppose, as a second Mega because you can bring the Flood, not Mega Evolve it, and then go with the Mega Golurk, or even just like go for the Mega Float and then try to clean up with regular Golurk can also work as well. But I could definitely see them just going for a Light of Ruin in regular form, sack the Float, and then get Trick 'em up with Medicham to bring in the Golurk. And then final Pokemon, this Whimsicott, I have no idea what the Whimsicott said it was going to be on that team. I'm running Energy Ball just to be able to hit the Swampert. I don't think this team really benefits from Tailwind, especially with like no speed investment. I mean, there is on the Basket Legion, but I don't think it's nearly enough that I want to. I just want to bluff the Tailwind so I can go for that Trick Room mode. So I have another mod that can set up Trick Room just in case, as well as Encore Memento to get like some momentum. Being able to get the free switch with Memento is pretty helpful too. And I really don't know what item on the Whimsicott was going to be brought, so you know what, I just decided Bright Powder would be funny. But I don't think I'm ever really bringing the Whimsicott. So the EV spreads on the team are just simple max attack, max speed on the Metagross. I could go with the Jolly Nature, but I really don't think you need to outspeed anything. And I think the extra damage from Adamant Nature is pretty impactful. It already outspeeds the Garchomps, the Floettes, and anything like 110 and under, which I think is good enough generally. The Medicham here is just max HP and max attack. I want the close combats to do enough damage. I think otherwise it's pretty all right. The Basket Legion is going to be max speed with Adamant Nature, mainly because it can be a mon that can still sweep in Trick Room and out of Trick Room, because I could see some situations where you have the Trick Room stalled out and then you need Basket Legion to be able to outspeed some of the slower mons that were able to take attacks and switch in and out. So that's the idea of having max speed Basket Legion still. The Golurk on this team, I'm running Adamant, but I do think that it's probably realistically Brave because you can outspeed the King Gambits guaranteed, as well as like any min speed Incineroars. This was just something that I kind of forgot to change because I did have an idea potentially going with Tail and Whimsicott when I initially built the team, but I do think that Brave is probably a better pick overall. And it's max attack, a good amount of HP, but still a number that's divisible by 16 -1, or a number that is -1 of a number divisible by 16 because of like burn damage and some other stuff. The rest going into defense because the extra does allow you to live the Life Orb Sucker Punch from King Gambit. The Eternal Flow is just max speed, max special attack, needs to get strong Light of Ruin, and that's all it really needs to do. And the Whimsicott, not really much. I'm thinking I'm going to bring it, but I'm just going to have some bulk, so I live Ice Punch from Swampert, and the max attack for the Energy Ball to KO the Swampert. So the team is about the hidden text. Set up the Trick Room with the Medicham, sacrifice your Metagross if you have to, or to bring in the free switch for Golurk. Sacrifice your Floette by going for Light of Ruin immediately next to Medicham because they're scared of the Mega Floette, but really the Golurk is the one that is lurking in the back that's super threatening, and then just really dish out as much damage as you possibly can. That is the entire idea of this team. It is very hard to predict, especially in a close team sheet if you have never seen the 6 before. But this is my recreation of it. I do not know how accurate of a recreation it is, but we're going to be trying out on the ladder and seeing how well it can perform. All right, we have Staraptor, Raichu, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Mousehold, and a Golden Go. Sand can be a little bit questionable, but it should be all right. I kind of regret not having Psychic Fangs on the Metagross. Psychic Fangs on the Metagross would have been pretty good here. What should I lead? Is it going to be the Metagross Medicham mode? I think so. I do think Metagross Medicham is pretty alright in this. And then I think in the back, I'm bringing Basket Legion plus Golurk, which should be pretty strong against their team. The Earthquake under Telepathy would be really powerful. So I'm just going to try it out and see how it goes. I don't really like Whimsicott too much in this matchup. Float is good to bluff, I guess, against the Staraptor, but I don't know if they're actually going to lead Staraptor. Sand mode, I think, makes a lot of sense, but we'll see. Because I do have the Float. Staraptor Mousehold, okay. This might be okay. But at the same time, it really depends on what they go for. I'm going to go for a Explosion with the Metagross, I think. And a Trick Room. I'm kind of curious if they would expect it in the first place, but I am just going to go for this play. I think it's pretty safe across the board, and we'll see what they decide to go for. We are going to see the Mega Evolution on Staraptor, so that means they're probably attacking. Is this Follow Me? Because they might not know the team. Is there going to be Psychic Fangs on the Metagross? Is it Mega Metagross? They don't know. We don't see any of those. We do get an explosion off. Let's see if this is Super Fang or Dual Wing Beat. Dual Wing Beat would be pretty bad here, but let's see. I could see it being close combat as well. It does more to Maushold than I thought. I could have went for a feint to KO it as well, but I do need Trick Room up really badly here. Okay, they just go for Self Charm, which is completely fine. I don't mind Self Charm coming out into the Staraptor, and we are going to see a close combat. So my Sash is going to be broken, but wow, that did so much. But it is, I guess, +2 Staraptor. They do get the defense boost, and I am able to get the Trick Room set up with the Medicham. So now we have our Golurk in position. I can go for Feint into Maushold, and I can go for a Poltergeist with the Golurk. And I want to say Poltergeist should still KO Staraptor, even if it's +1 defense. It's a Golurk. So we will Mega Evolve, go for the Poltergeist into the Staraptor, and we'll go for a Feint into the Maushold to bypass, well, one, to get rid of Maushold, because one, we get rid of Friend Guard on the Maushold, which is absolutely huge, but two, they could go for a double protect to stall out to the Trick Room turns, which does make sense to me as well. So we will go for the Mega Evolution on the Golurk. And now Mega Golurk is here, and let's see how much damage we do to Staraptor, because I imagine we do a good amount. Feint gonna come out, no protects. Goodbye Maushold, so Maushold does go down, excellent. And do we KO the Staraptor? Poltergeist. How much damage does this do? Please a KO. Oh, barely not a knockout, but that's fine. Dual Wing Beat is not that problematic. Okay, although I mean, that was +2. That did do a lot of damage. Okay, perfect. Perfect. As we're going to see Excadrill come in, which is not bad for me. I'm assuming last mon's Tyranitar at this point. I'm wondering if I should just go for Feint Earthquake here. Because I could see definitely a swap to Tyranitar for the Staraptor slot to fear the Feint. I think I'll just go for the Earthquake Feint into the Excadrill. I also still have, because Staraptor can only get 1 knockout, while I can get well, Excadrill could get a double knockout with Earthquake, so I think the play is always to go for Feint Earthquake into the Excadrill. So, no protects, but that makes sense. We do get a Feint off, and if the Staraptor doesn't go for Roost, I could Feint the Staraptor the next turn, which should KO it. So I think this is completely fine. We do go for the Earthquake here into the Excadrill, which will take the knockout, so Excadrill does go down. And the question is Staraptor going to take a KO here, or is it going to go for a Dual Wing Beat again? It targets the Medicham this time, so I'm assuming Tyranitar will probably be the last Pokemon, but I think we're in a pretty comfortable spot now. Because now I can go for Aqua Jet plus a Headlong Rush, and I am feeling pretty good about this position. Tyranitar is the last Pokemon, that's not surprising here. My Golurk should be able to one-shot this with Headlong Rush, I imagine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should be able to one-shot with Headlong Rush. Also, this is the last turn of Trick Room. No, there's 2 turns of Trick Room, which, I mean, this is fine for my Golurk, so I just go for Headlong Rush, and I go for Aqua Jet into the Staraptor. Unless this is some random Focus Sash Tyranitar, or it's Iron Ball maybe. Even if it's Iron Ball, I think I would win. Yeah, I would win. Like, it has to be like some random Shucker or something. Aqua Jet KOs the Staraptor, takes the knockout. Beautiful. And Headlong Rush should take the knockout in a Tyranitar. This is a very powerful Headlong Rush. Yeah, so here's Headlong Rush into Tyranitar. Goodbye, Tyranitar. So, beauty of just power. So, I think they played very, very aggressive with the Staraptor. And of course, they could have Dual Wing Beat, but I think they might have been scared of like potential skill swap. With huge power, they might have been scared of. I'm kind of surprised they didn't fear to fake out. All right, we have the Raichu, Aerodactyl, Scizor with Incineroar, Como, and Sinistcha. Okay, some very interesting Pokemon here. So what do I expect them to bring? I think they're definitely bringing Scizor. Is it Mega? They had 3 potential Megas on their team. I'd say Raichu is probably very likely a Mega. I can't really tell about the... I think Aerodactyl would be a secondary Mega, and the Life Orb Scizor? It could also be Sash Aerodactyl, which is fine. I think I do just want to go... The problem is against Fake Out. It's a little bit tough to go with the Medicham mode, but I still think it's okay overall. I'm going to do the Metagross plus the Medicham mode. I have Basculegion in the back. Basculegion is just really good against my opponent's team. Aqua Jet with Life Orb pretty much does a lot of damage if I get good chip. And then final Pokemon I'm going to bring is going to be the Golurk. I don't even know if we'll see Como in this matchup. It's kind of interesting to see Como here because I do have double fairy type, but they will probably bring the Scizor, I imagine. So I'm kind of curious if they just decide to forego Como mainly because of the double fairy, or if they're just going to use Scizor and try to use Como to remove any other threats that isn't. But I think Scizor is generally pretty good against my team, so let's see how this goes. We're going to see the lead of Scizor and Incineroar. Okay, perfectly fine. As I do lead the Metagross and the Medicham here. So this actually is kind of interesting because I could definitely change my game plan here of how I want to approach this. For instance, I could go for a Stone Edge immediately. I could go for Explosion as well, which is not a bad play. But I think Explosion's kind of risky. I'm thinking Stone Edge might be my best play. I could go Basculegion here for the Medicham, and I'm very tempted to. You know what? I'm going to go for a Stone Edge. I'm going to target down, I think I target down the Scizor. And I hard swap Medicham into Basculegion. Since I don't have Protect, I'm a bit fearful of Fake Out here because they might really be worried about the skill swap tech. Like Scarf Medicham plus Mega Metagross with skill swap. Ooh, we see Incineroar retreat. Interesting. Into what? Sinisha. Okay. Is this good or bad for me? I think it's neutral. It's neutral. Okay. Because this is our protected. I kind of want to go for Life or Wave Crash. I don't think this is or probably carries knockoff. But getting rid of Sinisha is kind of important as well. I'm always worried about like Scizor Swords dancing up, and then I'm in a very awkward spot against this. But I suppose I do have Quick Guard on Medicham, so it won't be able to like Bullet Punch through my entire team. I guess I'm going to go for a double up into Sinisha. I guess this isn't too bad. Life or Blast or Specs should be a pretty good amount of damage. Plus Stone Edge. You know what? I'm going for it. This is a retreat Incineroar. I almost debated about wave crashing, but this is fine. Okay, Incineroar does come in. Okay. Because really, I think we want to just try to position for getting my... Ooh, that did a decent amount. Last Respect. No Berry. Ooh, a lot of damage. Okay. What are you going for? Matcha Gotcha, Citrus. Okay, that Citrus is annoying because it is going to be able to heal a good amount for my Basque. That is a lot of damage. How much recovery are you getting? Not much from the Metagross, but the Basque is the more important one. Yeah, you get a lot. No burns, which is very fortunate though. Okay. I don't think this is a terrible spot realistically. I think I just go for a Stone Edge. I'm going to tar down the Incineroar. And I think I want to go Medicham here. They could go for Fake Out Matcha, which is fine. Do I want to risk Sash though on my Medicham is a good question. I could also just go for a Wave Crash, but I feel like I really want to get rid of Sinistra. Because I can't Poltergeist it with my Golurk, which is a pretty big deal. You know what? I'm going to Stone Edge the Instant Protect. Because if they take the KO on Metagross with like a Flare Blitz, then I get the boosted Last Respect into Sinistra, which I don't think is bad. Okay, we Protect here. Okay, they might have went for the Flare Blitz. Oh, that's a big crit into Instant. I will take a crit into Instant. Okay. They did Flare Blitz, so Metagross goes down. I do not mind this spot because now that the Metagross went down, the Basculegion is powered up. I still have Sash on my... Medicham. The only fearful part is Oh, they Trick Roomed. Wait, they Trick Roomed for me. Ooh. Okay. My only problem is I need to reverse Trick Room so I can Last Respect. This Trick Room actually makes it a bit awkward. But, I mean, we do have Golurk. Trying to think of how I play around this. Because, yeah, hitting the Ghost types is a little bit weak here with the Citrus Berry. I think I have to go Golurk. Because I need the offense. But who is your last? Okay, Scissor's just coming in, which is fine. I think my best play is just to go for an Earthquake here. I think it's just Earthquake, swap to Medicham. Yeah, I kind of wish I last respected. If I last respected that previous turn, I actually would have just won the game because last respect would have put the Sinistra in range of Earthquake. Oh, I didn't think they would set up the Trick Room for me. Okay. I'm going to switch out Bask. I'm going to bring out the Medicham. And let's see how this goes because it's very rough of a spot here. I'm kind of curious if the Sinistra has... Did we see Protect? We didn't see Protect. But I don't have a move that can hit the Sinistra other than Stone Edge, but it's not going to get near enough damage. Might as well get the damage into Scizor. Okay. Telepathy. Earthquake does some actually pretty good damage. Matcha, that's a good miss on the Medicham, alright. So Golurk takes a ton. What's the last? They went for a knockoff. Okay. Do I go down to Matcha? I actually have no clue. I have no clue if I go down to Matcha. They might Bullet Punch as well to Medicham. I don't think they're ever protecting. It is Life Orb Scissor like I thought it was. I think my best play here... I think I'm probably going to need a double protect to win this endgame. I think I can see how this endgame is going to play out. I'm going to go for Earthquake and Quick Guard here. I'm expecting Bullet Punch plus Matcha because they would Bullet Punch KO to Medicham and then Matcha would be single targeting the Golurk. I'm trying to deny that. Yep, it is Bullet Punch into the Medicham. And I will be able to get an Earthquake into Scizor. So this will knock out the Scizor, get a bit more chip into the Sinistra, which is just going to heal from Matcha anyway. But I think the question is, can Golurk take the final KO into the last Pokemon? Because I think that's the big deal. If I can, it should be good, but we'll see. Matcha. And Medicham. No burns. Very lucky. Okay. Do I even need a double protect? It's Raichu as the last. They know I have Quick Guard, so they're not going to fake out. They might protect. Oh, wait. I think I can actually guarantee win this. Yeah, I can guarantee win this. I'm going to go for Earthquake and Faint. Yeah, because they can't even fake out the Golurk, so they're probably going to protect. Or you Rage Powder. No, you have to protect. Yes. So I have Faint here. They're hoping to let the Headlong Rush through the protect, but I have Faint on the Medicham, so I can Faint the Raichu, break the protect, and I don't even need Golurk's ability to break through that protect. So Earthquake will come out at full power to knock out the Raichu. This is the last one of Trick Room coming up. Now I can go out into my Basket Legion, protect, and then last respect KO the Sinistra. Oh my goodness, I did not think I was actually going to be able to win this endgame. That's crazy. Very helpful that a Matcha dodge did happen and I didn't get any burns because that was really impactful. But oh my goodness. What an insane game. What an insane game. Very fortunate, but like, yeah, very tough to pilot here. The Sinistra's a little bit tough here. So we go out into Basket Legion, we click Protect on the last turn of Trick Room, and then we last respect once Trick Room is over because we outspeed, and then we'll just be able to blow up the Sinistra. So Protect here, and then last respect the Sinistra. And there's no way the Sinistra can live the last respect. So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of like what are the better lines that I could have had earlier into this team. Was there? I mean, lead wasn't that great, but like I think instant lead can be a little bit just weird because of the Intimidate, the fake out pressure into Medicham. If they try to go for a knock on a Medicham immediately, it gets a little bit confusing. All right, we have Charizard, a Basket Legion, a Whimsicott, Garchomp, the King Gambit, and the Eternal Flood. I think we all know what kind of team this is, but we're fine against this team. I'm just going to bring the Metagross plus Medicham, which should be good, barring like maybe a few specific leads that I'm not sure my opponent's going to go with. And then in the back, I am bringing my Golurk and the Basket Legion. So just going to go with the classic, set up the Trick Room and get Golurk into a good spot, hopefully, to take the KOs. That's the entire idea of the team. There are other whip modes I guess I could go for. Like there is the Floette I could bring and not Mega Evolve, which is actually a very valid bring here. I think they always bring Charizard against my team, though. I don't think they ever bring Floette, so it's harder to sweep with my own Floette if that's the case. Here's on what they decide to lead here, because the question is, I'm not 100% sure. The lead, like if they lead Charizard, I'm Stone Edging it immediately. I am clicking Stone Edge into it immediately. And if they lead, the only lead I'm a bit scared of is like King Gambit Basculegion very specifically. That's the only lead I'm a bit scared of. Okay, but Whimsicott King Gambit is fine. As we go with the Metagross and the Metagross and the Medicham. Now, I do have access to close combat that could one-shot the Whimsicott or one-shot the King Gambit potentially. So I'm kind of curious if they would even would they go for Tailwind? Are they fearful of the close combat? Are they worried about Fake Out? There's a lot of things that they have to consider here. I don't know if Explosion is the right play here. That's the thing. Because if they go for Moonblast, I am screwed. Like, I am legitimately screwed. I could see them going for Tailwind, though. I could see them going for Tailwind. I think I'm going to send the Explosion. I'll send the Explosion Trick Room. I could feint the Whimsicott, but I'm going to send the Explosion. Nice, they went for Tailwind. This is the best case scenario because I get the Explosion and the Trick Room up. Beautiful. So that's an amazing, amazing turn for me because I do get Explosion off into their team. Goodbye, Whimsicott. Well, if it didn't have a Sash, but that's fine. We do have the feint for a reason. And this is Kowtow. How much does Sucker Punch do to Golurk? We should be fine still. They do go for the Kowtow into Medicham. I guess the question is, do I want to feint or do I want to go for a... I think I just want to go for Earthquake and Quick Guard. Yeah, I want to go for Earthquake, Quick Guard, I think. Because it prevents the Encore and it prevents the Sucker Punch from doing too much to my Golurk here. Do I need to Mega Evolve? I actually don't know. I feel like I probably KO King Gambit with the Earthquake at this range. I did a lot with the Explosion, so I think Earthquake KOs, and I don't think I have to Mega Evolve just yet. I think I'm just going to go for Quick Guard and Earthquake. I have Telepathy on the Medicham, so we'll see. Okay, let's go for Quick Guard. This is Encore. Sucker Punch Encore. Beautiful. Very, very nice. Yep. And that's why I have Quick Guard on the Medicham. So Earthquake will come out into the Whimsicott, get rid of it, as well as KO the King Gambit. Beautiful. I still have no guard on the Golurk, so if it's the Charizard back, I think I can just go for a feint Stone Edge play, which is really looking good here. The only problem is against Basculegion, if it's Basculegion in the back, I'm kind of curious on how this goes, but let's see. Basculegion, it is Charizard. Are they gonna Mega? So I could go for the KO attempting the Basculegion potentially, but the problem is I take so much damage from the Zard. They could try to protect Basculegion too. I really just want to click Stone Edge Feint. I think I'm just going to click Stone Edge Feint into the Charizard. They do Mega Evolve with the Charizard, though it doesn't really change much in this spot. Okay, do they protect with Bask? I could see protect with Bask here, but we'll see. Nope. Okay, so I do get a feint off. That would cover any protects, and I'm only staying in non-Mega. Oh, that's amazing for me. Wait, why did they do that? They thought Aqua Jet was came with Medicham, not in Sun. And now I get the Stone Edge off into the Charizard. Goodbye, Charizard. I have a guarantee win here, and it's by not Mega Evolving the Golurk. Because if I Mega Evolve Golurk, I will miss my Poltergeist. They're going to forfeit. Maybe they thought I had a Rock move on Medicham, and we're going to go for the Rock move, but... What a crazy team that this is. It really is. Incineroar, Eternal Floette, Garchomp, Charizard, Sinistcha, and King Gambit. This is going to be tricky because they have both access to Floette and the Ensign Charizard, which is not the easiest matchup for this team, but I can play around it. I am going to bring the Incineroar and the, or not Incineroar, Metagross plus Medicham. Metagross plus Medicham is pretty good against this in general. I think in the back, I'm going to bring the Basculegion, and then final mon will be the Golurk. I'm a little bit scared of the Sinistra and the Kingambit. Those are always just scary Pokemon to deal with, but not much to say here. I don't think I'm bringing the Eternal Flood in this matchup, so let's see how this is going to go. Metagross plus Medicham is just really good at just being able to surprise opponents if we are able to catch them very off guard, because we have quite a few techs. I'm also curious on how fast their Instant is, because that's going to be actually pretty important here. Charizard plus Garchomp is a beautiful lead for me here. I'm going for Stone Edge. And I'm going for Trick Room. It might be famous last words, but the Garchomp could be Scarf on this team, which is why I don't want to Ice Punch, because if I Ice Punch the Garchomp and it's Scarf Earthquake happens, then Metagross survives, goes for the Ice Punch trade, but Charizard then gets a Heat Wave off. It's always better for me to Stone Edge the Charizard. It gives me the best odds. If they protect, this gets confusing. They might know the team. Oh, it is Scarf Garchomp. Okay. So I think they know the team, but I think this is all right. Okay. As we did Stone Edge into a team. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to Ice Punch the Garchomp, but good protect on the Charizard part. Here's how the rest plays out, because they're probably just clicking Heat Wave here, realistically. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Stone Edge again, and I guess I go for damage here. Who do I go for the damage into? I think I just go for the Chomp for close combat. Okay. It'd be amazing if they went for Heat Wave and missed the Metagross and hit the Medicham, but let's see. Ooh, wait, we see a swap from Garchomp into who? I'll take free damage to Incineroar. I will gladly take free damage into Incineroar. That is very much appreciated. Okay. They will Mega Evolve the Charizard, so Sun is up, but I mean, I'm clicking Last Respect into their team the entire time, so that's fine. They can't fake out my Pokemon in the back. They have a Scarf Garchomp. This is looking pretty good. It depends on their last, though. Because if it's the Basculete, or if it's the Kingambit, I'm a little bit concerned. I get some pretty good damage with that close combat, too, into the Incineroar. Very nice. It's Citrus on the Incineroar. That makes sense. Heat Wave. No way. No way. I'm going to miss Stone Edge, though, and then I'm going to be in a kind of a weird spot. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This Metagross has been LeBron with Stone Edges, man. It's actually been absurd. Okay. We go out into Golurk, and we put on the pressure. Kingambit comes out. That makes sense. I'm going to Stone Edge the Incin, and I'm going to go for Headlong Rush. I need to get rid of Gambit, and it's probably not... You don't run Sash Gambit on this team. So I'm going to go for Stone Edge, and I'm just going to go for Headlong Rush. I can't really switch out the Metagross slot and risk the Basculegion. If I KO the Kingambit, I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. So let's see. They could Sucker Punch my Metagross, I guess, in Darkest Lariat, but... Ooh, that could be a little bit concerning, depending on how offensive the Incin is, but I think I could still easily win. Let's see. Mega Golurk. They go for Sucker Punch, which is fair. Ooh, that almost KO'd Life Orb? Yeah, I was about to say. I did think I lived that, but... Whew. Headlong Rush comes out. Beautiful into the Kingambit. Kingambit goes down. Basculegion's looking pretty good. Who does the Incin target? Unless the Incin went for Parting Shot here, but if they went for Parting Shot, that's fine. Yeah, they went for Flare Blitz. This is super ideal. Okay, I think that should be a guaranteed win unless the Incin and the Golurk speed tie, which is pretty much impossible unless they're Brave Incin with very specific speed EVs. Because 75 is a very weird number to hit for an Incin, because you have to run Brave or like any of the speed natures plus that. So we go out into Basky Legion. I think I could have still won without the Stone Edge because I think Basky Legion plus the Golurk were still in really good spots. But it still could have been up to targeting. It could have been how offensive is this Instant. A lot of things. But now I should just be able to win with Headlong Rush into the Instant and Last Respect into the Garchomp. So should be good here. Because this is Life Orb Last Respect from Basky Legion, which is definitely going to KO the Garchomp. Headlong Rush going to take the KO on Instant. Beautiful. So goodbye Instant and Last Respect KO. It should be. I mean, this is Scarf Garchomp, yeah. All right. Awesome work by Golurk and Basky Legion endgame. Love to see it. So goodbye. And I think that is going to be Champions tier with the Mega Golurk. Like this team, insane surprises. Insane. And yeah, Champions tier. Beautiful. And we'll continue on with a few more games and let's see if the team can continue on its hot streak. All right, we have Whimsicott, Charizard, Eternal Flood, Garchomp, Kingambit, Basky Legion. All right, so we got this team again. I think it's a different player. Yeah, it's definitely a different player. So again, the only real leads that I'm scared of are like Kingambit plus Basky Legion, and potentially Whimsicott plus Basky Legion can be actually a bit tough, mainly because I can't knock it out with Metagross, and then I risk my Sash on the Medicham, which can be a bit awkward. So let's see. I am gonna bring the 4 Pokemon that are weak to Ghosts, and we'll see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. I think overall though, we do have the text to win. It really just depends on if they have played against the one that who had originally built D6. Because the only things I got to know were Explosion Metagross and Faint Medicham with Telepathy. So Charizard, Whimsicott, Trick Room plus Stone Edge. Send it, Metagross. Send it. It's so sad I have to run Stone Edge too to KO Charizard's guaranteed, but like a lot of the Charizards can be bulky. There's some fast ones out there, but just always KOing the bulky one is still better. Like 80% chance to always KO Charizard is just better than no chance to KO Charizard sometimes. Tailwind? Okay, so this is perfect. I wonder... No, Charizard's always faster than Metagross. Yeah, this is cool. So they go for the Heat Wave, KO the Metagross, absolutely all right there. And we get to trick them out, beautiful. So now I'm gonna go for a Feint and Stone Edge play. Yeah, just go for Feint and Stone Edge. Do I want to reveal Quick Guard? I could Quick Guard as well, but no, Feint covers for a Protect. They don't Protect, but that's fair. I'm assuming this is Encore from the Whimsicott, but let's see. Yeah. So I'm Encored into Feint, but I think that's fine. And we don't Mega Evolve because we don't want our Mega Heat here, because we want to keep the No Guard. So we KO the Charizard. Goodbye, Charizard. That's huge. And then what's coming out here? Could be Kingambit. Oh, they could Encore me into Stone Edge, which is I don't like. Yeah, that's actually pretty annoying. Oh, Garchomp. Okay, that makes sense too. So I think my play here is just to go Basky Legion and go for a Feint to break the Sash on the Whimsicott. They're probably going to go for like Dragon Claw Encore, I think. They're probably going to Encore the Golurk and Dragon Claw the Medicham. They could go for Earthquake, which is fair too, but I don't mind if they do. We will go into Bask, as we do get a Feint to break the Sash on the Whimsicott. Yeah, they tried to Encore me into that. That makes sense. And what did they go for with the Garchomp? They actually did go for Self-EQ. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, a lot of damage. Okay, so Medicham goes down. And with that Life Orb chip, they're definitely in range of Last Respect. So I'm going out into Golurk. We're clicking Poltergeist. And we're going for... do I go for Poltergeist? I'm a little bit worried if their last mon is Basculete. No, I think if it was King Gambit, they would have went into King Gambit earlier. I think the last mon's Basculegion. By the way they're playing it. Because I think if they had King Gambit, they would have went into King Gambit. Because I don't think there's any risk for just going to King Gambit there. I'm going to Poltergeist the Whimsicott and just Last Respect here. The only way I see this being bad is if Whimsicott switches out to King Gambit or Protects here. And they sack Garchomp to the Last Respect. And then they have Encore pressure. Okay, they protect Whimsicott. Let's see. What's the last? Is it King Gambit or is it Basculegion? If it's Basculegion, we're fine. Goodbye, Garchomp. We're not in Aqua Jet range. Tailwind Peter's out, which is fine. What's the back? I think Basculegion makes so much sense. I have 4 Pokemon weak to Ghost. I have 4 Pokemon weak to Ghost. Like literally 4 Pokemon weak to Ghost. Yeah. Alright, so I think this is just going to come down to a Double Protect. Because it's the last turn of Trick Room. Yeah, it comes down to a Double Protect. I'm just going to go for Last Respect and I'm going to go for Poltergeist and not Mega Evolve. So I don't miss. They do go for a Double Protect. They don't get it, so that is a guarantee win here as they will protect the Basque. And now we win by clicking Last Respect plus Poltergeist. So, okay. Assuming this isn't some Ghost Berry. But I've not seen Ghost Berry on Basculegion in so long. Okay, yeah. I think if they had King Gambit, it would have been scarier, especially if they brought it in instead of the Garchomp, but this worked out because Kowtow Cleave was getting a KO every single time. But now we can go for Last Respect, and we can go for Poltergeist. Even if they went Basculegion earlier, I think if they went Basculegion earlier instead of Garchomp, I could have been screwed because they could have clicked Last Respect in the final slot instead of going for Garchomp Earthquake scenario. So that could have been scary. So maybe Quick Guard was correct earlier. Also, they're not we either speed type for Basculegions or I am just faster, which also makes sense too. So I had that going for me too. Beautiful. Beautiful. This team just keeps racking it up. This team just keeps racking up wins. It is crazy what it can just get. Okay, we have Grimmsnarl plus the Archaludon, Skullvillain, Garchomp, Pelipper, and Metagross. Oh, the Skullvillain's actually such a pain here because I do not have the best Skullvillain answers, legitimately. This is a very, very rough matchup. This is such a rough matchup, I might not bring the Metagross here because like Metagross doesn't really do much other than Ice Punch the Garchomp. Explosion doesn't get enough chip damage to where I'm satisfied. I think my game plan, we're bringing Medicham lead with Basculegion because Life Orb Wave Crash can blow up Skullvillain, which is kind of the reason why I want to bring this combo. And then Golurk, we're bringing the Eternal Floette because we need backup answers for damage output. So let's see how this is gonna go because I am very not sure. The fact that they have screens plus Skullvillain actually makes this such a rough matchup, but we'll see. Also, my opponent's really high. Okay, Skullvillain, Grimmsnarl. I don't have Fake Out. Here's on what they click here. I really want to click Wave Crash plus Close Combat. Wave Crash plus Close Combat would be really nice. Do I think they're going to protect? I don't think so. I think you lose too much momentum if you think I have Fake Out on the Medicham. I'm just going to go for Wave Crash Close Combat. Yeah, they Mega Evolve immediately, which is perfect. Okay. Really good turn. Really, really good turn. They go for reflect. That makes sense. So here's a wave crash. It should do a ton of damage. A bit less than I thought, even reflect. Okay. So what's this go villain attack here? Okay, it's Leech Seed. That's actually best case. That's best case. Okay. As I get a close combat off for some chip. It's probably not KOing realistically. Yeah. Do I think this is Sucker Punch on the Grim? It could be. I'm just worried about foul play. Foul play is the scariest move here. I think we just switch out the Medicham to go out in a Floette. And I'm just going to go for... What, the Life Orb Wave Crash did what? 67. So... I don't think Jet... No, Jet definitely doesn't KO the Scovillain at this range. I think I'm going to protect Bass, switch out the Medicham here, because I want to... One, they don't get recovery, which is pretty important. Two, I want to see what they're going to... Oh, they switched out Scovillain. Or Chaladon, that makes sense. Okay. The fact that they still have the fact that they still have, what's it called, the Scovillain around is still pretty annoying, but manageable, I guess. They do have foul play, okay. And they target Bass. So this was a good trade, because if I wave crashed into the Scovillain, that would have been awful. So this ended up working out, yet still a bit tough. I'm debating about, is it worth megging the Golurk or not? I think this is I'm forced to Mega Evolve the Eternal Flood game. I think I have to. I think we're gonna go for a Moonblast Wave Crash. Actually, I kind of want a Jet Wave Crash. I'm gonna Jet Wave Crash, or not Jet Wave Crash. Jet plus Moonblast. And the reason I'm gonna do this is because I think Jet Moonblast should be enough to KO Grimmsnarl. If Moonblast is just somehow enough to KO Grimmsnarl, that's actually bad for me. Because if that happens, then I give our Chaladon a stamina boost, which I don't think I can afford to. I have to stall out this Reflect and then get Golurk into a position, I feel. Okay, they go for Light Screen, that makes sense. And they're probably Flash Cannon here into Floette. So here is a Moonblast, KOs the Grim. Yep. The Scovillain's weakened. I don't feel too bad about this. Oh, we got a crit. I don't think the crit matters. We're max special attack, timid. Flash Cannon. Perfect. Okay. So this is looking decent here. But let's see. I think regular Golurk can pull through, but it's going to be close. It also depends on the move of the Archalon. Does it have Draco or Dragon Pulse? Is actually going to be a big deal breaker, because if it has Dragon Pulse, it can KO my Golurk. Can I stall out the Reflect turns? Is going to be a really good question, because I have no clue. I have no clue. Let's see. Should be Pelipper coming in, yep. Are you gonna Tailwind? I'm just curious if it's worth going for the Light of Ruin into the Pelipper slot. They're gonna Electroshot, I think, here. There's 5 turns of Reflect left. Because 3 more after, because it's probably Light Clay. Blast Respect into the Light of Ruin probably doesn't KO. If they get Tailwind up, this is really bad though, but I don't really have much. I think I'm going to Protect, and I'm going to go for Wave Crash into the Pelipper slot. Oh, it's Choice Scarf. It's Choice Scarf Pelipper. Ooh. Can I live with Flood, a Choice Scarf, Weather Ball? That's a good question. I don't even know Medicham can after the burn damage that we took earlier. Electroshock gonna be fired off. Very, very close end game. But I do feel that this one's gonna be tough. I think if the Pelipper wasn't Scarf, I could probably say it's still a chance, but right now it's not looking hot. Yeah, because I can't even go to Golurk. Like, if this was regular Pelipper, I could probably just go for Light of Ruin and Headlong Rush, but now I can't even do that. I think I have to go Medicham. Yeah, I'm forced to go Medicham, because if I go Golurk, it's just getting Weather Balled. I don't even know if I live a Weather Ball. I definitely don't live Electroshot. We're going to Moonblast the Pelipper, and we're going to go for a Trick Room, I guess. Yeah. Weather Ball. Does this KO the Flood? I feel like it's probably Timid Pelipper, so it does not. Okay. Yeah. I think the problem was Scovillain's screens just made this rough. Because, like, Arch isn't, like, too bad of a matchup normally. Especially if it's only, like, one, usually, of Grimmsnarl. Because, like, you can play around screens as long as, like, the Golurk can't get burned. But the problem is, the Golurk was getting burned from the Scovillain. So it was really tough to actually get a matchup into the Archalon. The Archalon was just super tough to actually, like, figure out. So... yeah, like if I could break through the Scovillain fast enough, maybe it's possible, but yeah, I did not have anything, unfortunately, for Grimmsnarl, Scovillain plus Archalon. And also the Pelipper being Scarf ended up being really bad, because if I could outspeed it, then it's maybe a game, because I could maybe have Archalon target down. The Floette, I can get Trick him up, but even then it's probably unlikely. I probably still need to crit with Golurk. Okay, we have Delphox, Blastoise, Incineroar, Kingambit, Sneasler, and the Sinistra. Now, this matchup's a bit strange. Yeah, it's a bit strange, but I feel like overall it's okay. I think Metagross is not actually a good lead here. Like, it's good into nothing here, because it doesn't outspeed Delphox, Kingambit's threatening, they have an Incineroar. Yeah, like... doesn't do anything. So I'm gonna go with the bluff the Floette lead with Floette Medicham, and I'm gonna bring Basculegion plus Golurk. Yep, and we're gonna see how this goes. Think that this is my best line here. Can't really think of too much that I would really want to do in this. I'm kind of curious on which Mega they bring. I assume it's Blastoise, because I do have a lot of dark weaknesses, but we'll see. I don't think Delphox is it, but you never know. Kingambit Sinistra. Okay. Very interesting start. I could actually just win the game if I want to Mega Evolve the Floette. Because Light of Ruin, Oko Sinistra, and then Close Combat gets to Incin. Or Close Combat goes to Gambit. I think I'm gonna do that. Like, as much as I want to do the Golurk strat, and Golurk can definitely still destroy under Trick Room, I think this is always the optimal play here. So let's see what they decide to do. They could protect, but I'm not 100% certain. So Fairy Aura activated. Sinistra protects. Okay, they double protected, right? They did not double protect. Okay. So I get a Close Combat off. I'm not huge power, but this is still a 4 times effective Close Combat. Goodbye, King Gambit. Okay, very nice trade. And now I can Light of Ruin to Sinistra the next turn and Trick Room still. Still looking pretty good. Still looking pretty good. Okay. Delphox, that's fine. That's looking pretty good for my Pokemon in the back. And you know what I'm clicking? I'm clicking Trick Room, and I'm clicking Light of Ruin. I'm firing off this Light of Ruin like a madman. If I KO Sinistra, I'm in such a good spot. Even if Sinistra switches out, like what's coming in? Incineroar, Sneasler, they're all taking so much damage. And Golurk and Basculegion are just looking so good in the end game. Like, actually so good in this end game. We do see the Mega on the Delphox. Nasty plot, okay. That's fine. Light of Ruin into the Incineroar. Oh my goodness, that actually almost KO'd. Should be Citrus, right? Yeah. Do I care if both of these Pokemon go down? Not necessarily. I could switch to Bask and Dazzling Gleam, or I could close combat Light of Ruin. I'm also thinking of close combat plus Dazzle, but I think close combat plus Light of Ruin is more effective here. I think I'm just gonna go for close combat Light of Ruin into Incin, because the Incins don't usually run Protect on this team. I'm not really that worried about Delphox. The one play I could see being a bit problematic. Oh, that's a fast Incin. Okay, I get a Vincent. I get a Light of Ruin off into Delphox. I don't know if I guarantee win, though. It's looking good. Oh, no, wait. I still have Medicham around, so I should be fine. Yeah. Because they go for Heat Wave. That's acceptable. Goodbye, Floette. Yeah, because I wasn't expecting to keep my sash on Medicham, because I thought they were either going to Parting Shot the Floette to bring in Sinistra, because they could live the Light of Ruin, get Hospitality that way, but that works for me. Now, do I go Golurk, or do I go out into the Basky Legion? I think I just go hard into Golurk. Yeah. Oh, actually, this might have been a misplay. If I don't KO the Sinistra, I'm in a really bad spot. I should have went... No, I think I should have went into Bask. Because if this is a Berry on Sinistra, I might be screwed here. Because I can't dodge Heat Wave with Golurk because of no guard. So this was actually a bad play. I go for Feint plus Poltergeist here. Into the Delphox. Oh, perfect. Okay. If they Rage Powdered, I was scared here because of potential Ghost Berry. If they had Ghost Berry, it was actually problematic. But this should allow me to guarantee win here because I get the KO on the Delphox. I can't miss. And then against Sinistra, I should always win with Basket Legion endgame. So goodbye, Delphox. And now we guarantee. Whew. That was actually... Yeah. The reason that Bask is better is just Bask can guarantee... Actually, never mind. Bask might not have been a guaranteed because I only had 1 KO, so it was only 100 base power last respect. So I think Poltergeist is actually stronger in this case with Golurk. Although it's Life Orb adaptability, but still a ghost type. I don't know, actually. That's actually a bit tough to say. But yeah, I do win the game now, guaranteed. I can go for anything realistically here. I'm just going to go for Reverse Trick Room and go for a Poltergeist, I guess. What item are you? Okay, it's the Dark Berry, not the Ghost Berry. So I think we were good regardless. Because Poltergeist, yeah, KO'd Sinistra. So even if they Rage Powder Heat Wave, like I didn't think it was the Ghost Berry, but if it was the Ghost Berry, this was a bit of a scary spot. The reason I want to keep Bask in the endgame was because like if I get rid of Sinistra, I can Aqua Jet the Delphox in and out, trick him to KO, but it could have been scary. So how was the team? Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Sometimes these ladder demons absolutely make some incredibly broken stuff out there that can be very hard to predict. And yes, the trainer that I played against definitely cooked with this team. Definitely going to be a lot weaker though with this combination now that of course it is going to be known out there. So if you do want to try it out, it will be probably a lot weaker because players will know about the team and like what it does. But of course you could play fun with that. You could add Tailwind on the Whimsicott. You could go with a faster mode. Yeah, there's a lot of tricks you could probably do with the team that can just mess with everyone's heads. But yeah, I think this version was really fun to pilot, especially when no one really knew the text, and it was extremely fun. So make sure you try it out if you do want to with the rental code on the team. If you want to check out the details, it'll be down below the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.